everybody. A big divisional matchup taking place at Orchard Park when New England battles Buffalo this weekend on Sunday. 1 p.m. Eastern start, 10 a.m. Pacific kickoff. We've got the New England Patriots VR right now laying 4 with a total of 51.5. This one, by the way, is my best bet, and we'll get to that in just a moment. VR, it's been 10 years since the 2002 season since a Bill Belichick New England Patriot team has lost 3 straight games, and that's what they're facing in this one. They're going to take on a Bills team that's fattened up the last 2 weeks against somewhat soft defenses. We both went against Buffalo with a big play on the Jets in week 1. They've looked a lot better the last 2 weeks. How do you see them faring against this New England Patriot defense?
Coming into the season, Belichick said he's going to take a more hands-on approach with the defense. And we've seen the fruits of his labor. I mean, compared to last season before that, this New England defense is good. I really do believe that. When you look at the Buffalo side, I'm not surprised they looked good against Kansas City. They're 21st against the run, and we know Buffalo could run the football. And then they played Cleveland. I don't even need to go there. We all know where Cleveland stands. Yep. Exactly. So I'm not really impressed by the Buffalo success. Tough place to play, don't get me wrong. Buffalo's a team you got to be pretty confident again if you're going to go against at home. But with that said, New England should be able to shred this defense. This is a team that's switching their defense. You know, they went from the 4-3 to more of a zone. Right. And on top of that, you have a defense that allowed the most yardage in franchise history last year. I don't think it's going to improve a lot since then. I don't know. Personally, I think if New England is one of the best 3 to 5 teams in all the NFL, this is a game they should not just win, but they should go in there with a chip on their shoulder, ready to do some damage.
And we know that Bill Belichick is not being suspended. He got a hefty $50,000 fine, but he wasn't suspended for any action when he grabbed the referee after their game the other night. But when you look at Buffalo's offense, you're talking about banged up running backs in both Spiller and Jackson. Jackson said he's coming back sooner than everybody thought he would. So Tashard Choice is the guy who takes over last week, again against a bad Cleveland defense, and he rushes for about 90, 95 yards on 20 carries, and he gives his offense time, the throwing game, some time to create a little bit, because all of a sudden you just can't load up and try to force Ryan Fitzpatrick into making mistakes. I don't care who's at running back. Spiller's my favorite, by the way, of the 3 backs, because he's got more breakaway potential. But when you look at what this team is going to do, New England on the defensive side of the football, they're going to clog up those running lanes. And you got a guy like Wilfork up front. I mean, this guy's a man, child, and a half. He doesn't, you can look at the stats. He'll have like 1 assisted tackle, 1 unassisted tackle. But he clogs up like 10 different
and everyone else gets the jump on the runner.
Exactly. What he does is by him getting in the way, he keeps the lead blockers from getting to the second level of defenders, which are the linebackers, so they can come up and make the tackles. And then you put the onus of the offense on Ryan Fitzpatrick, who, by the way, over his last 12 or 13 games, 20 touchdowns, but 20 interceptions. He's one of the reasons I went against the Bills in week 1, because I thought with that aggressive Jets attack on defense, Fitzpatrick would be prone to mistakes. He was, and I think he's going to have a rough time in this one again.
I agree 100%. When I look at Fitzpatrick, the Harvard quarterback, bottom line is the kid could manage the game if he's not the one that has to win the game. But if he has to use his arm, it's just not one of those strong pro caliber arms that is going to be able to beat a defensive back like Revis. That's why we both liked the Jets against them early in the season, because of the fact they had such an aggressive secondary. And that's the worst case scenario for a quarterback like Fitzpatrick. Looking at this New England defense, I think that secondary is pretty aggressive as well. So I don't think he's going to have an easier time this week than he did in week 1.
Well, it sounds like we're on the same page. Enough of the talk. It's my best bet. My best bet, as you can probably already tell, is the New England Patriots. I'm going to lay the points, laying 4 as we shoot this video, over the Buffalo Bills. And I'm going to tell you what, folks, the demise of the New England Patriots is much, much too exaggerated. Don't forget, this team is 2 field goals away from being 3-0 right now. I think Buffalo's gotten away with murder against lesser opponents. It all comes back and hits him squarely in the face this week. Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think, is going to have a real tough game. I'm back in New England, minus the points, my best bet.
So the square picks the right pick.
There you go. The square picks the right pick.
Sometimes. They don't always lose, bro. They don't always lose.